boy. Oh, I'm Mike AD, and this is This Week in Wrestling. On the Monday night with Raw, and tonight it is the first 3-hour Raw without an overrun. This show is gonna end after 3 hours. Now if they can only get rid of the additional hour. The cutting of these additional 15 minutes was evident right away, as the show begins with a tag team battle royal to determine who captains the 5-on-5 tag team Raw vs. Smackdown Expialidocious pre-show match. Braun Strowman comes down, lays to waste everybody, and the match is thrown out. Strowman wants Corbin, but instead we get Stephanie. She makes a deal not to destroy Corbin until after his team wins at Survivor Series. What is the point? There is nothing to gain at Survivor Series. Honor? Best in the world? Who cares really? It's just another haphazardly constructed network special with no stakes or consequences. Ronda comes out for some reason. I think it's just to share the shit out of Stephanie. She responds to Becky, and although this has been a short build, it has been intense. She then threatens to dislocate Stephanie's arm. Out comes Corbin to heighten the tension, decrease the acting acumen, and find someone for Stephanie to demasculate. Corbin tries to motivate the troops, but who cares? Puts his hands on Rousey, and for week number 5 in a row gets dropped on his ass. Ember Moon versus Tamina, who joined forces with Nia last week. These two should be called the vacuum cleaner, because now that they're together, they suck as much as a fluffer doing overtime. And this match was a piece of shit. Nia provides the distraction and Tamina wins with the falling feces. We're getting Elias versus Lashley 4. This time, face-heel dynamic totally switch, as if that matters. And Alexa picks the women's 5-on-5 team. Ambrose speaks. Maybe. Last week's replay, the Ambrose betrayal, then out comes Rollins, the man who can compartmentalize his rivalries. Here's Ambrose, complete with a leather jacket, somebody's red rental car, and a burning oil drum. The Shield was better apart. It weakened him. He coats the Shield vest in fake gas and then throws it in the fire. And Michael Cole, he didn't burn the vest in effigy. To burn an effigy is to make an effigy, a likeness, say a sex doll in a suit with a red toupee. Then you burn the effigy and say you are burning Trump in effigy. Get your statements right. Say something creative like, the Shield has gone up in flames. And Renee still has no fucking clue, even if she's having dinner with a lunatic. And where is head supposed to be? Just uncomfortable. A replay of the Angle McIntyre match from last week. McIntyre cuts the promo of a lifetime. This guy is going to be champ. Balor interrupts him. He's pissed about McIntyre being a prick last week and challenges McIntyre. But he gets Dolph instead. This was a great match, and the babyface got over because how can Ziggler be hurt any more by bad booking? Asuka versus Phenomenal Flair this week. Who gives a damn? Finn's in the back. Stephanie adds him to the Survivor Series match. McIntyre confronts him, showing that he's 9 feet tall. Gotta love all these teams full of dysfunctional parts. Replay of the Becky Lynch respawns from last week, and Ronda respawns. She's the man, the millennial man, the oversensitive, bubble-wrapped hipsterette. Gotta love Ronda's promos. Then the Twin Towers show up and ruin the entire segment. You're both getting your arms ripped off. Out comes Ruby Riott to explain Sunglass Gate, a fake Jekyll and Hyde apology, and then we get to do it all over again. Do you really want to piss off Natty Neidhart? The last person I want to piss off is the only woman to survive the Heart Dungeon. Then Natalya jumps her, and then her friends totally disappear, and she's beaten. 3-on-1 and takes the heart attack. Now, we get the Tag Team Battle Royal take number 2 to determine the meaningless leadership of another tag team. The Revival, the Ascension, the B-Team, the Lucha House Party, Slater and Rhino. This is the best Raw has to offer. Glorious Gable wins. The best of the worst. Out comes Lesnar to hype the match they didn't have time to build. Out comes Mahal to ruin the segment. Lesnar thinks there's no difference between Hinduism and Judaism. The Singh brothers get turned into human accordions. Suplexes and F5s for everybody. And the whole entourage is left laying. Just horrible. Lashley versus Elias to determine the last spot in the 5-on-5 match. Out comes Lashley with Jim Neidhart's glasses. He flexes his arms, his chest, does a lat spread. He moons the crowd. Elias interrupts to phone Child Protective Services, accusing Lashley of abducting a 10-year-old child. This was thankfully short. These guys are stylistically incompatible. Lio Rush interferes, Elias gets counted out, and then he gets turned into a human lawn dart. Alexa Bliss announces her 5-on-5 team, Natalya, Tamina, Nia Jax, Mickie James, and then says Bayley and Sasha will fight for the final spot. Fast forward, nobody wants to see this. They had the shot 9 months ago, they ruined it. These two were hot 2 years ago, they ruined it. Fast forward, they get jumped. She swerves everybody and puts Ruby Riott as member number 5. Becky Lynch shows up. She's got a disarmer on Ronda backstage. Then she leads a SmackDown women's invasion of Raw. They lay out the entire division, and they head up through the crowd, standing at the top with a bloody face. Pretty badass. Looking forward to this match, and it should be the main event. On to Tuesday with SmackDown Live. The night begins with a replay of the previous night's chaos, instigated by Becky Lynch and the SmackDown women's roster in their invasion of Monday Night Raw. We also find out that Nia Jax, who hardways, potatoes Becky, breaking her face and concussing her. The main event for this Sunday is finished. That's not the only thing that will be finished, and we'll wait for that later. Out comes AJ, the man for who 371 days has been the WWE Champion. He intends on beating Lesnar, although none of us believe this will happen. And then Paul Heyman, he sets into motion a series of events that will lead to one of the most bizarre finishes to SmackDown in recent memory. He runs down SmackDown, puts over AJ Styles, and then for some reason drops Daniel Bryan's name, provoking Daniel Bryan to come down. And it doesn't take long before Bryan punches AJ in the face, precipitating a brawl, and the locker room empties out to stop it. New Day versus the Big Bar again. I've got deja vu. The brawl spills out from the ring to the backstage, where Shane books the WWE title match between Bryan and Shane. What the hell is going on here? Are they teasing yet another surprise title switch before Survivor Series? Cien Almas takes on Jeff Hardy in order to spin Hardy more positively for what will happen later. Too bad for Cien. That's 2 weeks in a row. At least he's on TV. Daniel Bryan has now been booted from the Survivor Series team. That was harsh. He didn't even win yet. And what's this for? Bad behavior? Samoa Joe is on that team, and he stalked and harassed another man's family. Priorities. The Miz then wants to boot Mysterio from the team because reasons, but he has to beat him first. Nakamura. His heart's broken, so instead, he will break Seth's face. First ball breaker, now face breaker. The Miz comes to the ring straight with his DVD box in his corner. This match against Mysterio was really good. The two work well together. Mysterio wins again, but Marine 6 is still out this Friday. Unfortunate. Out comes Randy in another 35-second night to take out Ray, but he gets The Miz instead. Here's the security team. Let's hope they don't get overrun by divas. They seem to have found some developmental guys. For some reason, Paige brings out the entire women's division, and wow, it is thin. Becky comes out looking like she was hit with a sledgehammer. Has anyone seen the pic of Nia's hand? Looks like it hit a cinder block. She indeed can't compete. So, after sizing up the entire roster, she chooses Charlotte to replace her. Very predictable. But look at Charlotte's face. Damn, there goes my main event. The following hypothetical booking scenario is brought to you by vodka. The WWE is going with Becky Lynch versus Charlotte at Survivor Series. And when the rumor for the last 12 months was the main event for WrestleMania 35 in New York would be Ronda Rousey versus Charlotte Flair, the WWE has fallen into a great thing with Becky Lynch here. She is the hottest thing now in this company. What they should do is book it now. Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship as the main event of WrestleMania 35. This is how they should get there. Right now, have Becky Lynch come out and vacate the SmackDown Women's Championship. Have her disappear for a while and heal up. At TLC, have a multi-woman match for the vacant championship. Charlotte will win the match. In January, Becky Lynch will return, announce her intentions to enter the Women's Royal Rumble. After she wins it, she announces her intent to go after Ronda. This leaves Asuka to have a rematch with Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championship. And this time, Asuka taps Charlotte out. Becky defeats Ronda, the whole crowd goes wild, and goes home happy. Monster Eclipse takes on Country Dominance this week. Not covering it. I don't cover bullshit. Charlotte Flair. I fought against her. I fought with her. Now I fight for her. Unfortunately, you're losing to Ronda, the Big Bar, who just got generic with the inclusion of the Big Show in their gimmick. beat the New Day with a lazy, generic finish. They're the champs. They have to look strong going into a match that they're going to lose. If the responsibility of a team captain is to make important decisions as to who will be on the Smackdown team, then who didn't make the team? The Usos take everyone to the cellar where they use lighting and smoke effects to tell the Colognes, where the fuck have you been? Sanity, Ditto, the Good Brothers, not enough TV time, they're in. Wow, hard decision. The main event, AJ Styles versus Daniel Bryan for the WWE Championship. A match that was booked out of nowhere and gave fans the feeling that something could happen, and it did. These two had a really good match. Then Bryan cheats and wins when he attacks Styles, turning heel, leaving the fans holding their heads in disbelief. More than that time, Jinder Mahal won the WWE title. So instead of saying, yes, 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 they're saying, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? Bryan is the anti-Roman Reigns. A man pushed as a babyface, but the fans want as a heel, instead of a man pushed as a heel, who the fans want to cheer for. Now he gets Lesnar this Sunday. Beware the reckoning. On to Wednesday with NXT. Mia Yim takes on Bianca Belair, the most cocky superstar on the roster without a cock. These two just bored me to death. Bianca wins and keeps that winning streak going. Can't wait till you run into a brick wall and get shaved bald. In the back, Hanson decides on his own that he'll be the one to fight for the War Games advantage. A feature on the rivalry between Aleister Black and Gargano and his nonsensical heel turn. Can't wait to wake up and find out that this is an alternate reality this whole time. So dumb. Makes about as much sense as turning another beloved babyface. Matt Riddle's experience has been great so far with the one match he's had. What a debut. It's debut, you stoner. In walks Cassius and says the bro show is trash, but Matt promises to KTFO, oh no bro. Hanson gets undisputed O'Reilly tonight. This should be an interesting contrast of styles. Carissa Rivera, who the hell is she? Anyhow, Lacey Evans turns her into mincemeat rapidly, then cuts a promo longer than the match. She's going to teach these girls class or she'll kick their ass. No disconnect between image and character. It's totally integrated. Just well put together superstar. Feature on Ciampa and Velveteen, one guy so beloved, one so hated. Then a feature on Shayna and Kairi Sane. One woman grounded in reality, the other focused on her empty treasure box. Wow. Now Hanson, the bearded bulldozer versus Kyle O'Reilly. This was really good. Then the outside interference begins until more action was happening outside the ring than inside it. In the chaos, the era cheats and Kyle wins. The heels get the advantage predictably. Looking forward to seeing them get their asses kicked. On to 205 Live. We start out with the dangerous team, Drew Gulak and Jack Gallagher, versus the strange mid-card bedfellows Akira Tozawa and Brian Kendrick. How are these two going to work together? Language barrier? Lost for words? Fuck it. A good match, but booked to continue. So we get a lackluster roll-up to an entertaining match, and expect this one to meander on for several weeks. The weigh-in. Mustafa Ali, 182 pounds. Buddy Murphy, 204 pounds per pec. Why? It's kayfabe. Buddy Murphy feels bad for Mustafa because he's going to do whatever it needs to do to keep the title. Lucha House Party with Penelope the Pinata depose of two guys without names or an entrance with great tandem offense. They're interrupted by Maria Kanellis, and they're going to make an example out of them. Gran Metalik returns next week from his mass humiliation to take on TJP. Lio Rush versus Cedric Alexander. If there's a way to pirate this match, please see this. It was off the chain. Cedric wins, and this one was worth the price of admission alone. Mustafa Ali says he's unstoppable, but I think he's hitting a freight train this Sunday. His dreams will derail. That's it for This Week in Wrestling. I saved an additional 60 minutes of my life this week, simply because I stopped watching NXT UK. Don't like the language? Better the fucking show is, the less I fucking swear. Don't like Big 4 pay-per-views with 2 weeks of build-up? Get used to it. Don't like the content? I didn't create it. I'm just a security guard. I just observe and report. Until next week, this has been the Knights of the Squared Circle Wrestling Podcast Extra. This Week in Wrestling. Good night. And Nia Jax? Injure Bailey, Charlotte, Sasha, Zelina Vega, and then she fucks up your main event? If she wasn't related to The Rock, this would be easy. If she wasn't plus size, this would be easy. If she wasn't a visible minority, this would be easy. Cut her. And take Tamina with you.